Hey guys, this is Edrumcenter here, and we're doing the Roland TD-07DMK unboxing with commentary. So, what do you guys think of this kit so far? It's not a brand new everything kit. It's got a new module.
I mean, I think the first thing that comes to mind is practical. Gets the job done if that's what you need.
Inexpensive,
Yeah,
for sure. It's the new.
How much is it?
$7.99.
$7.99.
It's the new, I guess, lower priced kit from them.
It's a good intro kit.
Yeah. It's what? A couple hundred less than the TD-07 KV.
Yeah.
And
about 250 less.
what makes it less? We were trying to figure that out.
So it has CY5s for all of the symbols, whereas the KV has 2 CY8s.
Yeah.
And
no kick tower.
And the kick tower. The KV has the KD10. This has the whatever that part's called, the K200.
I don't know that it's sold by itself.
I don't believe it is
anywhere. So it's the same kick trigger that was on the TD-01DMK, which was their previous very similar kit in every way except for the module on this kit. So this one has the 07 module, which is actually a pretty cool little inexpensive module.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest upgrade part of it between that and the 1DMK, because that module is, the 07 module is really good and has Bluetooth, which is cool.
It's got a bunch of, we'll talk about this maybe a little bit later, but it's got a bunch of extra pads in there too, so you have an upgrade path without having to upgrade your module. So this kit's new for 2021. They just introduced it, last month? Late last month? Seemed like
Yeah, it was not that long
They introduced it and we got it very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Any new sounds on it?
No, the 7 is the same 7 that's been out since, I guess,
End of last year.
Okay.
They came out in the whole group of 07 kits that came out. This is the lowest tier of the lineup, but that doesn't mean it's the worst.
No, like I said, it's very practical. Like it depends on what you're going for. But I mean, if you live in an apartment, I think this would be a good thing to have. I also asked you earlier if it had MIDI, in case you wanted to run like into Superior Drummer or Slate or something like that onto your computer. You just throw some ideas down or you could just plug it up to your interface and just use the sounds that are on there if that's what you want.
Yeah, it's got sounds built in. It's got audio and MIDI over USB built in.
Is it a Bluetooth thing?
It does have Bluetooth.
Okay.
I believe it also has Bluetooth MIDI, which I've not experimented with yet.
Huh.
That should be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, for Bluetooth, it's got the ability to pair one of your phones up or device, iPad, whatever, and play along to it without having to hook up a wire. It's got a regular 1/8" mix-in as well if your phone is older and you don't have Bluetooth on it, or you can hook up your computer.
It's real easy to hook up the computer as well. I think the 07 module is the first one I ever hooked up to the computer out of the new lineup, and it was the easiest one of them all. So we had tested it out on, was it Logic?
Yeah, that's right. Didn't we do where we hooked it up to Logic and recorded the backing music for the TD-07KV?
Yeah.
So the music on that video was actually that module recorded straight into a computer.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should do that for this video.
Yeah.
We still actually need backing tracks. So it's currently now shipping. It's available for purchase. Should be, I hate to say should anything these days, but it should be available this fall and winter for purchase. May want to go ahead and, if you're planning on getting one of these for a Christmas present or somebody for something, maybe get it early this year.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like anything else, I think.
Anything else.
What are your guys' thoughts on who this kit is for. I mean, I'm thinking beginner for sure.
Yeah, I mean that would be a great beginner kit. I remember the one I was asking you about this. What tier is this? Is this like the of all the Roland stuff? Like, is there anything below this?
I don't think there is any more.
Not anymore.
Because the one that used to be kind of like this kit, where it had the hi-hat controller was the same as your kick drum. So your kick, not the same thing, but they had the same kind of mechanism.
Yeah, I believe that was the TD-1 KV or K or something like that.
Yeah, I did not like that at all. But this is definitely an upgrade for that because you're actually using a bass drum pedal, as opposed to just like a controller of some sort. And I'm glad that's the path they're taking now.
And you can upgrade, like this module does work with the VH10 hi-hat.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to upgrade and use a regular hi-hat stand.
Yeah, because the sounds aren't bad on it.
Yeah.
Like for what they are. They're not like hyper realistic, but they're good,
Mm-hmm.
They can have fun on them.
They're in the same boat as the 17 modules.
I think so, yeah.
But yeah, beginners definitely. Like I said earlier, I think if you're in an apartment in a low, a place where you just can't be beaten, I think. Which you can say that about most electronic kits, I guess. But
This one's just if you're in a tiny apartment.
Yeah.
Very cramped for space. It's
very small.
It's
I
a
think
small
this would be a
footprint.
good kit for even like a normal drummer who's not a beginner, but
Oh,
wants to like dip their feet in the e-drums market and doesn't want to spend a ton of money for their first e-drum kit. This would be excellent for that too.
Or
And
a second
also,
kit.
yeah, and you could fold this thing up too. You could probably, kind of, if you needed it out of the way. It's not really a huge hindrance,
Mm-hmm.
Or if you were, I've done this before with my old V-drum set, and it's a lot bigger. But say you have a rehearsal at a living room rehearsal or something like that with a band, and they don't have a drum set at the place, you can just collapse this thing as best you can, throw it in the back of your car,
Yeah, I used to move around my first electronic kit from my apartment, which was tiny, down to my friend's apartment, which was also tiny, to practice. And I just throw it in the back of my car,
Yeah,
fold it all up.
and this one doesn't even have a kick tower, so it's like
Yeah.
on the rack. So that so that would be practical so it would be good for rehearsals, good for beginners, good for a small kit that's in your apartment or house, or like Aubrey said, just if you don't have an electronic kit and you just kind of want to get one just to have so you can play it at 10 o'clock at night, not get the cops called on you, then that's good. That's great too.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, you could just, it would be great for just recording ideas into your DAW, DAW. If you just wanted to go straight through your interface, or you wanted to run Superior Drummer through it and make your drum sound amazing, but not spend $1 million on an e-kit just for that reason.
Lots of built-in, obviously built-in metronome, practice tools built into that module.
Yeah, no, that was the first thing your friend's son pointed out when he looked at it. He goes, "Oh, has a drum coach? That's cool."
Yeah, I've played with it. It's kind of cool. It kind of grades you on your accuracy over a small period of time, and
you play like two bars or 8 bars or something, then it'll tell you what percentage you got.
percentage you were. Yeah,
It'll either make you feel really good or really bad.
Yeah.
Depending on. But it's just like a video game. When you lose, you're like, let me go again.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like an incentive just to make you nail it. Yeah. So that's kind of a cool feature. So yeah, I definitely think they're pushing it toward the beginner or the student.
Yeah, well, my friends' kids are wanting to play drums really bad, but they're like most kids, like they'll try something and
I'm not instantly good at this.
A few things later, they're on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And what I was telling about this kit is like, this is probably the least expensive kit I'd really recommend, because if number one, it's just a good solid product. It's not going to mess up on you.
It doesn't suck.
I say it has
Yeah,
the rolling reliability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if your kids don't stick with it, it's a Roland, so you can sell it for maybe not exactly what you paid for it, but not much less. It's going to hold its value, and it's going to hold up.
And it's got the mesh pads too. Like I've seen a lot of other everybody's doing mesh pads, but sometimes I've seen some of the other. There's some other brands. Can I name brands?
Sure.
I remember a few years ago that there was an Alesis kit that was coming out, and a lot of my beginning students were buying those because it was around the same price point. It might be a little cheaper, but
Some of their kits are far less.
I found that they were kind of loud, and like this kind of. I don't know if they were the mesh pads or not, but they definitely have like even with the sound off, they're just kind of. But either way, this is a really quiet kit. Also with the smaller pads too. If you're a student, I think it really helps your accuracy because how big are those pads? Like 6 inches.
6 inches, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you get used to playing like right dead center in a 6-inch pad, when you move on to a real drum set or a bigger kit, your accuracy will just be better, because you're just so used to hitting a target, You kind of like practicing drums, you're constantly calibrating your hands to do things, and you calibrate your body to hit right dead center in this thing. It can only be a good thing.
Yeah.
It can't hurt anything. So, I know a lot of people like look at small pads and go, oh man, but I don't know. I think there's some good in it, especially if you're using it for training.
That's one way to look at the bright side, for
Yeah.
sure. For the small pads, like I said earlier, you can upgrade. So on the snare, it'll work with like a PDX 12. If you wanted to upgrade your snare size, one thing I don't particularly love about the kit, let's talk about some of the downsides and maybe a reason why you'd want to go up to a higher end kit is the ride cymbal.
Yeah, that's
Just
my
being the
biggest-
5-inch, and there's no bell.
Yeah.
There's no bell on that. So
I've
having
had-
a bell on a ride is kind of important.
Is
Right.
it like it seems like you can get a bell sound if you use a dynamic though, right? Like if you hit it a little harder or something. I don't really necessarily remember. I don't have
It's
it
just a
in front of me
2-zone
now.
cymbal. I don't know. It's got a bow and an edge, so you crash it.
Well, it seems like I have a cymbal at home, and it's a little bit older, and it's just like if I hit it lightly, it sounds like a ride cymbal. If I hit it on the edge, it sounds like a crash. But if I hit it a little harder, it has a bell sound. Now I don't know if that's the case on this one, so
Well, I don't know.
Speculating.
I don't know what cymbal you're. It was TD-6
TD-06 era, yes, and we're talking like I think I got it in 2006 or 7, so thing's ancient, but that's exactly what it does when I play it at home. And I can't remember if it has two triggers in it, or not 2 triggers, but two
Inputs.
2 inputs.
Well, that's the first thing I would upgrade is that ride.
Yeah.
And I can see that being a
Just
being
having a
thing.
5-inch ride's really small too.
Yeah.
Like I would definitely want a bigger size cymbal all around than that.
Oh yeah,
I want a bigger snare, bigger ride.
I think that's the
I
only.
could probably live with the smaller toms.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's the only complaint I have
And
is
crash.
the cymbal sizes. The toms I can look over.
but again, this depends on what you're wanting.
Yeah.
If you're just wanting to get it and learn how to play beats, you're a student and your teacher says, okay, get the funky primer and I'm going to teach you how to play a rock beat, and I'm going to teach you how to do this, how to do that, and then you're just trying to move your hands and move your feet.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Great.
If you're wanting to be like I'm really into drums and I'm trained to be on an acoustic kit one day, or maybe I'm just you're just like me and just a huge nerd about it, then this might not be the thing for you. But I think it could be, just depending on what you want to use it for.
All right, well, we're kind of wrapping up the end of the unboxing and the setup. Hopefully you guys got some information from this. If you need more, have any questions, hit us up at edrumcenter.com, and we'll see you next time.